Hey everybody, this is Dust for Dusted on Gaming, playing some... I forgot to update the list, didn't I? Nope, updated the list. This is War Dog's list. It is Delver Phoneix. It's basically a version of the Arclight Phoneix deck that we played earlier, only it's a little bit more aggressively slanted. 3 Monastery Swiftspear, 3 Delver of Secrets, along with Fiery Temper, and got shot, as opposed to some of the other stuff we were running earlier. So this list is a little more aggressive, trying to kill the opponent more quickly, more akin to probably a recursive burn deck than the Crackling Drake maximized velocity version we were running earlier. 4 Faithless Looting, get stuff from the graveyard. I do think maybe you want like one more Chart of Course or one more Izzet Charm to get things in the graveyard, like maybe cut a Fire Temper for one of those cards. Let me see if I own any Izzet Charms. Nope, I do not. Alright. So we'll make do with what the list, such as it is. He opts for Sleight of Hand over Opt, and then 3 copies of Thought Scour. So a little bit less on the cantrip end, a little bit more on the burn spell end. Sideboard, a couple Dispels, a couple Pierces, a couple Mana Leaks, 1 Ceremonious Rejection, a couple Alpine Moons for the Tron decks. Also comes in against Valakut and such, a couple copies of Smash the Smithereens against the Artifact decks. It's a little more aggressive based than the Abrades. 1 copy of Abrade because it is a little bit more flexible, and then Searing Blaze when you want to be a little more aggressive against the creature decks. So, obviously this is our viewer War Dogs list. It's a little bit more aggressive. Let's see how hop into a couple 2-man queues and see how it does. Or I guess open play for now. Would hop into a league, but I don't know that I'll necessarily have the time this morning. But I wanted to broadcast during the time I said I would, so War Dog could hopefully see this on his lunch. He came up with this list off an offhand comment I made when we were streaming the 4 Monastery Swiftspear Delver version of the, or 4 Monastery Swiftspear version of the deck. So, go ahead and keep this. Mulliganing to 6 keeps their hand. 1 card at the top of their library. I'm going to wait until next turn to pitch the... until turn 3 to pitch the Phoneix. Serum Visions, Darkslake Shores. Could be a couple decks, could be Ad Nauseam, could be something else still. I think we're going to have to shock this in as many red spells as we have in our hand. If we happen to draw a second Phoneix, we'll be able to flip it. Otherwise, this hand gets to deal... Waste not deck. Alright. So our opponent's going to get a zombie and some stuff off this, but I still think it's worth it in the end. Go ahead and do this. Pitch. Presumably Fiery Temper and Phoneix. Opponent gets their zombie. To Fiery Temper their face. Gut shot. Gut shot. Flip the Awoken Horror, get the Phoneix back. To be fair, we're also playing in the practice room, man, so... Sure. They could still conceivably kill, whatchamacallit here and just get smacked. Yep, they get a zombie here. And then... depends on what the remaining cards are. I'm not going to underestimate our Burning Inquiry. Huh. It's a bunch of zombies. That's why I said don't underestimate their deck. It's a pile of cards, but it does some interesting stuff, especially if they find an ensnaring bridge. Past our opponent here. Alright. Alright, and they just kind of concede. Sucks when opponents do that so early on. What's up, Space Marine? How you doing today, man? I'm doing alright. This hand's interesting. We have no threats, but it's definitely a keep. Humans, perhaps? Yep. It's actually kind of a matchup I do want to test the particulars of. Dauntless Bodyguard, interesting. So possibly on a white humans? Thing. Whip my thing out and tell them to say go. Oh, they have Path to Exile on their deck, so yeah, they're they're definitely not fully powered normal humans, but Mono white could prove to be interesting. Digging as deeply as we can for a Phoneix, but doesn't look like we're going to find one, so I think we just bolt the bodyguard here. Usually how I drunkenly approach it. Well, you've given up drinking, so that approach isn't going to work anymore. Oh yeah, Heretic Cathar, sure. Probably should have pitched Fire Temper there. Now we're going to take an unnecessary 3 points of damage. So the one part that kind of sucks, we're through almost 20 cards in our deck and haven't seen a Phoneix or a any of our other quick pace threats. Yep, which just looks like mono white humans. Soldier of the Pantheon. Probably should have just done this before damage. Usually how I drunkenly approach chicks at parties. Good old Space Marine, man. So I'll try the Pantheon's random ability, get to gain life off of that. Is it somewhat overrated? Yeah, probably. Does the deck still have some incredibly busted nut draws that do a lot of damage to things? Oh, absolutely. I think it's a little bit more difficult to pilot than some of the other decks in Modern. I think its best analogy before Phoneix was printed was the, wouldn't be surprised if they have like double path here or something stupid. Pathing Delver instead. Interesting. I don't know that I like Pathing Delver there. especially if we like to get to go off with cantrips here. To be fair, by the time they get to the giant drake they hope the opponent can't kill, the opponents usually had to exhaust 4 or 5 kill spells. And this isn't standard where, you know, every deck is main decking, you know, 6 to 8 cards that can kill, That said, we have gone through 30 some cards in our deck, almost 30 some cards in our deck, and still can't see. I'm gonna go ahead and concede to this is a Ranger of Eos. Bugler might still be good enough too here. Protect Bugler. We're still not technically dead, but we're in a lot of trouble. Fire Temper's not going to cut it here. Alright, so we probably want Searing Blaze in this matchup. And then a Braid. Cards do we not want? It's kind of weird because like all our removal's actively good in this matchup. 5, 6. My only question with like this build of the deck is like it feels like the deck doesn't have quite enough cantrips for what the deck's trying to do. But once again, that's kind of War Dog's call. Just trading for more efficient removal. Lightning Axe costing us 2 cards can certainly be relevant at some points. We find a red source's hand's pretty decent. Triple Lightning Bolt, Phoenix hand. Possible I should have just kept Sleight of Hand there as a way to dig 2 cards deeper. Now we're just going to get run out of the building here. Flaming Sovereign. Alright. Alright, at least we get to pitch Phoneix, I guess. Alright, kept the greedy hand, got punished here. Suppose we could have fought through that, but it's a practice room, not too terribly worried about fighting through it. So Space Marine, have you been testing your Bant list anymore, or are you back to working on blue-white? How's everyone else doing this morning? Hope you're having a good day. Bant for standard. Well, I know you sent me that Bant mid-range list. Wasn't sure if you were still working on it or not. Definitely keeping this hand. Just gonna play a tap land on one, probably. Could be a mirror match. Oh, Storm. In this particular case, we're going to have to forego Thing in the Ice and just get as much... Yep, figured you probably had another one. Don't really want either card. Can I scry them both to the bottom and draw a random card? Oh wait, that'd be too good. That's called preordain. Am I dead yet? Gifts ungiven. I might be dead. Depends on how many rituals they have in their hand. Apparently the answer is none. No, I'm not blocking with Thing in the Ice. If they hit a ritual hero, it could be dead. It's just like a grape shot, clear our board. Well, it's a lot of metamorphoses. Yep, they hit the ritual, so that was fun. Don't even know why they bothered to attack. Get the gut shots out of our deck. The fiery tempers out of our deck. Braid's fine. A couple copies of Blaze is okay. Question is, which ones do we actually want? Mana Leak might be actually too slow. And then got one thing in the ice. Well, to be fair, they probably had to hit specific cards before, when they comboed. Because that's one thing about Storm, is Storm's a lot of, like, you know, going off without all your pieces and then hoping you hit in your top 4, top 6, whatever, you know. I suspect with their sequencing that the last card they drew was the Desperate Ritual. This hand's quite reasonable. To be fair, Jan, I think Azorius is more aimed towards being an aggro deck than a, whatchamacallit. Though to be fair, that Dovin Bond could go quite good in some versions of, an aggressive version of the deck. Dude, I told you, I thought, yeah, I saw that. Fast Elver is definitely one way to punish these storm-based decks. This time we're almost playing out like the Blue-Red Wizards deck. They're going Barrals to the walls here. Still not as trash as Simic. Oh, wow. Opponent's like, do we remand this? remove the Delver. That's interesting. Pieces of the puzzle? Sure. So, what did they take? Dispel and Grape Shot. Alright. So close, yet so far away. I don't know that YouTube makes it. Well, is it an older computer gen? I mean, obviously we could die here. Or our opponent could just, like, mow down our board. What's up, War Dog? How you doing? Oh, well, yeah, that could certainly be an issue. Getting 2 for 1 here. What's up, Sean? How you doing? Well, we had a Waste Not opponent concede to us. Thanks, Sean. That was greatly appreciated. Waste Lot opponent concede to us after 1 game because he got smoked. Played against mono white humans. I had a miskeep in game 2 that cost us. And then we didn't see a Phoneix in the top 30-some cards of our deck that game. So and now we're down a game to Storm and might lose this game, unfortunately. And then earlier we went 5-0 with the normal Phoneix list, so just magic. It's gotten to do some pretty cool things, but I think your list is like 1 discard outlet short, like maybe an Izzet Charm or a Chart of Course over that 3rd copy of Fiery Temper. Pretty sure that means we're dead. Let's see. If they show me one more ritual, yeah, that's more than enough to show that we're dead here. Good old Storm. Unless you have Graveyard Hate or a fast enough clock with Disruption, you generally lose. Seems pretty reasonable. To be fair, against the 5-0 League was a lot of mid-range or creature-based decks, so like we played against Rock, we played against 4-color Death Shadow, we played against Infact, we played against Devoted Company. So there were a lot of like decks that Thing in the Ice or Crackling Drake or Recurring Phoenixes are quite good against. We also played against Archgaze and his pile of Crematorium. Wacky Thistledown Leech deck. Oh, Jan. How we've missed your decks and banter. Alright, this could be an interesting matchup. Hopefully they don't have Galvanic Blast. How's work going, War Dog? Yeah, I think the maximized velocity list seemed fine. Ravager, sure. No Drakes, no life. And there's the Galv Blast we kind of hoped they didn't have. Top? Well, that's cool. Hey, Space Marine. So, makes Knee want to quit. Does that mean you're joining Monty Python and the Knights of Knee? I really like the interaction between seeing cards on top with Serum Visions and then Faithless Looting. Uh-oh. Cranial Plague's problem. You don't know what Monty Python is, seriously? And the Quest for the Holy Grail, the Knights of Knee? It might be a good reference, but it's kind of lost on the one person it was meant for. Oh dear. Could get punked out by Infinity here. I don't get why they're not attacking with Ravager, but sure. I think we're going to leave one Arclight back. You really should look it up. It's probably a movie you would enjoy. So we could potentially threaten lethal next turn if this Delver flips and we run a little hot with... Huh? Okay, Vault Scourge, sure. Interesting. It's unfortunate we weren't able to flip Delver there. Is that lethal? Probably not. Bolt there, put them to 1. Oh, Delver. Just when we counted on you to win us the game, you couldn't win us the game. Delver, Delver, Delver. Like, Ravager's a big old pile of annoying, but it's like... Wow. Oh. I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, War Dog, what do you... We win if Delver flips, otherwise we don't. I shouldn't laugh, but it's like... Space Marine, why, man? Why? That was finally gonna flip next turn. Oh. um, on to more serious topics. They scooped. Hmm. So we have the really awkward don't have a Faithless Looting hand. If I were to hit a Faithless Looting in the top X cards of my deck, we'd be in good shape. So I think we'll at least take one crack at it here. And I, of course, see a thing in the ice whenever I do double red for Fiery Temper plus I think you missed when I jokingly said I just toss my thing out and hope it's good enough. War Dog and Space Marine was like, yeah, that's how I usually approach women. Oh, that's right, I could have. Yeah, pretty much, Sean, pretty much. I think we're going to blame this loss on Space Marine just because I have absolutely no focus whatsoever. Probably have Searing Blaze here, but, you know, whatever. Yeah. On to the next game. All concentration went out the window because of Space Marine. I just can't. Oh wait, that's probably the line Space Marine usually gets, my bad. I'm sorry, man. Oh, I'm so sorry. That was beyond just me. A chopstick pun in there sometimes. Yeah, never mind. I need to get back to being a little more, um... just, what do you even say? Oh, I'm sorry, this is War Dog, we're just not doing your deck justice here. You're welcome, Sean. Have a great day, man. So does that mean if he's trying to ask a girl out for dinner, he asks, or if he's trying to get laid first, does he go, do you want one stick or two? Alright, really needs to stop. I agree, that was a little too far, man. Uh, I'm supposed to be the voice of Region, and I'm just encouraging the monster. Thanks for the free spell, friend. The free land drop, I should say. See what you got here. You got an Eidolon. Nope, just a suspended Rift Bolt and a pass. Don't know if I like their chances. You know, I'd really feel bad if Isabel or, there's been one or two other ladies that have been in chat if they walked in on this. Ugh. A Path to Exile for Delver? Sure. Guess Delver's the harder threat to manage. Here comes Goblin Guide. We have a thing on top of our deck. So what are the odds we can flip the thing this turn? I would have to run probably pretty good off these Thought Scours and stuff. Need to hit like a Manamorphose off this particular hit. Of course, Manamorphose was literally the first card we binned. Okay, that's just sick. Hey, Space Marine, did you see, saw quite a vicious little number of... Okay, man, that's a little too far. Women do have a lot of rights, just as much as we do, man. Did you see the Simic double blue, double green spell they just spoiled? Very true, Jan, very true. We're referring to here in the US. Am I getting triple bolted out of the game? I am, in fact, getting triple bolted out of the game. Shard volleyed, sorry. Anywho, Space Marine, did you check out the spoiler that I'm talking about? It's called Frilled Mystic. It's a 3/2 with flash. Whenever Frilled Mystic enters the battlefield, you may counter target spell. Slightly better version of Mystic Stake. But it might be a good sideboard card for his Bant Nexus deck. Against some of the more controlling decks that he needs sideboard cards for. Lizard Wizard. Oh dear. That just might fire up the joke factory again. This should be an interesting matchup. Tormod's Crypt makes it a little less interesting. And if they shut down Bloodstained Mire, I'm going to concede the match. What's up, Pedro? How you doing? We'll take one draw step, see if we hit another land. Alright, Delver's enough of a reason to stay in the game. I told you, dude, I'm pretty sure Izzet was meant to be the control thing this time around. He's playing a variant of that, alright, well, he's playing a variant of the, blue-red prison deck that we played, that we turned into with, yeah, it's been a while. I can't remember what all we played it. Somebody got shafted for sure, but at least they got to keep their guild identity. Zorius is just garbage aggro. Yeah, and as great as the sequencing in this thing is, this this stream's just been we've had some interesting moments, I'll put it that way. Alright, back to focusing. One Spell Pierces, we want Ceremonious Rejection. Probably want Mana Leaks. Go down these Fiery Tempers. Go down these Gut Shots. Go down these Lightning Axes, although they could potentially have Padim in their sideboard. And then need to cut one more thing. So maybe a Thing in the Ice. No, this isn't a league. This is the reason that I don't play competitive leagues is, quite frankly, one more thing. I will be playing competitive leagues once I have a little bit more cash on reserve, but mainly I play friendly leagues because I don't like hemorrhaging money. And I prefer to have decks, decks more under control before I start hemorrhaging money with them. It's part of the reason I've been playing but we will start playing competitive leagues here shortly. Do I care about Spellskite? I think we let Spellskite resolve here. No. I'm good with Burn. I wouldn't say I'm pro. I think we want both these cards. continue to hold up my rejection for their nonsense. Yep, that's fine. Put a little bit stuck on lands. Rolling jar. Does make our braid seem kind of silly. Makes our stream amazing. I think we're gonna have to engineer explosive that. Ceremonious rejection that one. It's possible. I mean, War Dog and are you talking about the stream from this morning? War Dog and Foz popped in, and they're both from the U.S. Foz is usually up late for whatever reason, studying or whatever. I think he works like afternoons and then studies at night, and then Faithless looting. Don't think we're gonna faithless loot right now. Could lead us to flipping thing, but I'd rather have stuff I want to pitch, like another land or something. I saw a couple of them. Like the Mystic Snake we were just talking about. Try for the cage here, but it's probably just going to get countered. Yep. We're in some trouble this game, obviously. Just use this to flip our thing. What else did they spoil today, Pedro? I've only seen the Simic whatever. Simic Flash creature. And that's the game. Alright, so two important things about this list. Number one, you need to be focused while playing Magic the Gathering, otherwise you look like a bungling fool. Second thought process is it feels like the deck needs like one more copy of like a looting effect. Like I'd almost trim like one Fiery Temper for either an Izzet Charm or a Chart of Course, just to have another not with this deck, no, Jan. Burn I can probably do. This deck requires a little bit more thought process than Burn. Yeah, that one seems pretty insane, and it's an instant speed, too. End of turn, I'm gonna burn you for 5, here's my Teferi, go. Wait, what? Or 6/6, or burn your face for 6, here's my Niv Mizzet end of turn. I think you're dead? Holy can cow. Would spam count as a can cow? I'm not sure what's in spam. Says let me look up the exact wording on the card, but I think it says any permanent. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, Facebook will be faster. May cast a card with converted mana cost X or less from your hand. So it's not quite as good. It doesn't put it into play, so you do have to cast a spell still. And so it's unlikely you can do lands because it specifically says cast. So, but yeah, it doesn't say you can't do enchantments, Jan. Playing Arena on the PC. If it specifically says cast for X or less, which means it can be countered. But if you're playing like something like a Niv Mizzet in conjunction with it, could be pretty devastating. So instant speed Niv Mizzet sounds pretty gross. Card's already pretty busted under normal circumstances. Anywho, I need to get up and get moving for the day. I got some errands to run and stuff before F&M tonight, so, but, I did want to get the stream in. I think the deck would do a lot better if I was a lot more focused, but I do think I would make some slight tweaks to it, Wardog, but I think you're definitely on the right track here, and the numbers are just semantics and personal preference. So, but we've definitely seen the aggressive version do well. We've seen the other version do well, but I mean, I suspect this deck can get under decks like Tron stuff a little bit better than some of the other versions, especially if you have more access to 1-drops. So, a lot of it just depends on preparing for the new set. Nice. I'm looking forward to playing Dovanbon in like a blue-white or like mono-blue splash Dovanbon, mono-blue tempo nonsense. So, anywho, I hope everybody has a great day, and I might be back later. I've got some discussions I gotta make. There's an outside shot I could be going to the Columbus event tomorrow, but I gotta make a few discussions because there's a couple people looking for a third person in their group. So, I'd have to discuss the particulars, so. Raffi? Maybe. Maybe once we get the Hollowed Fountain Shockland, she might see more play. I played against, Jeskai Ruinous Blast today on Arena off camera. That was entertaining. But, anywho, I'm going to get rolling here. I got some stuff to do. I got some errands to run. I got some bills to pay. So, hope everybody has a fantastic day. And hopefully I'll be back later. But if not, so I'll let you guys know on Twitter or maybe here on Twitch with a quick stream. Was it a blast to play? I have no idea, Jan. We smoked them 2-0, so I don't know if it was a blast for them or not. Anywho, I'll let you guys know either tonight on stream or via Twitter about whether I'm going to see Bus tomorrow morning or whether I'll just be hanging out streaming here tomorrow. So, this has been Dusk for Dusted on Gaming. Hope everybody has a great day.